What up, there, everybody? Watching the Speakeasy Podcast. It's your boy Easy. I'm joined once again by my man Sean SK from the SK Podcast. I know you're not SK, but I was just trying to squeeze in your podcast name a little too fast. There, fucked everything all up. But what up, though, man? Your Giants won today.
Yeah, I'm so pumped, Easy, man. Oh, man. And now, guess what? We're big-time favorites to win this NFC East now because the Eagles lost, obviously. We all know Dallas is going to lose to Baltimore. Washington's going to lose to Pittsburgh tomorrow. So everything's coming to, the best shape here. And here, we are playing Seattle. We found them at the perfect time where they were on a little bit of a rough stretch for them. And we're running into an Arizona Cardinals team next week who's struggling. Like, they're really struggling. I think the Giants we're actually lucky with, the timing of playing these teams. Like, I think we might be able to sneak out a win against Arizona next week. I think they're on upset alert. And if we end up doing that, Arizona's 6-7. You believe that? If they end up losing to us next week, they're 6-7. That's just crazy to think about.
That is wild. It kind of snuck up, right? Like, they started the season so hot. Like, Kyler Murray was in the MVP conversation. He was, I think, highest. He was behind Russell Wilson in the league for touchdowns and whatnot. But it's crazy. But no, man, your Giants look legit, bro. Like that Seattle offense is no ho, man. And you guys stuffed them. I started Russell Wilson in our fantasy league today, and the weekly ones that we do every week. Mm-hmm. He screwed me, bro. He only had like 15 points, I think, like something like that. And I was like,
screwed so many people, bro. Because not even just him. What about all the DK Metcalf owners too? Metcalf, like myself, Metcalf owners, we were hurting, man, because that's nothing comparable to what he normally puts up fantasy-wise. He was just, in general, that whole offense was just like in disarray. They just had no clue what was coming at them. And terrific like pass rush at times for the Giants because they got consistent, pressure on Wilson throughout the game. Leonard Williams, I believe, had 3 sacks.
He was tearing it up. Leonard Williams, every time I looked in the screen, there was like some disruption or something went down. Leonard Williams was the one who did it.
Yeah. Stingy defense, man. It was, oh my God. I was just like, and like with their short passes, they had a few short passes, and like Blake Martinez was all over that. Jabril Peppers was on top of that. It feels like not too many of our defensive backs got burned. Not too many. I would say Bradbury he was good with Metcalf for the most part, besides getting that stiff arm, but pretty much he was fine. It was great matchups.
Yeah, that was crazy, bro. A big win over a 500 club too. Like the Seahawks again, I think they were 8-4, 8-3, something like that, heading into today. And the Giants, bro, from the NFC least, some were calling you guys. Fucking come out with a win, man. I think in Seattle too. Not that matters much. I'm gonna tap one more person to the show, man. I'm kind of happy. I'm glad to have him here, man. I don't think I've actually you've been out one time before after Darius Slade. But what up though, Luke G? This is Luke G's field review.
Hey man, what's going on, man? I'm out here. I'm still on daddy duty, so.
Hey man, I snuck away.
You know what? You know why I came on today? Because it was really made me have to say something.
What's up?
Where's all the people energy at after this Seattle Seahawks loss?
Man, I'm hurt over it, bro.
Like, I'm a Seahawks fan, right?
Yeah.
I'm a Russell Wilson fan, right? Like, I'm also a Lions fan. But if that had been the Lions losing to the Giants, who would our fan base be blaming right now?
Russell Wilson.
No. Nope. They don't blame Stafford. They wouldn't have blamed him. They wouldn't have blamed Russell Wilson.
That's what I meant, the quarterback. But yeah. No, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's fair to blame him. He didn't really play up to his standard today, or what he's been known as in the past. Like, I was waiting for him to start running because obviously passing really wasn't working. But like we were just got done saying, Sean, that I think Leonard, what was his name?
Leonard Williams, yeah.
Leonard Williams, man, was just tearing it up, bro. He was in his face every single play. And you heard me, Luke. I've been bitching about Stafford's mobility a little bit, man. And that's something that Russell Wilson has. He wasn't able to avoid that. He couldn't get nothing going today.
Man, listen, I tell everybody this. Football games are won by a team, not by a quarterback, okay? Quarterbacks have a simple job, which is supposed to help orchestrate everybody in position. But the game is not won by one player. It's won by a team. And when you look at today's games of people taking L's and stuff, I mean, the media not going to talk about Russell Wilson. They ain't going to say nothing about how he's been playing recently.
They might, bro. because it was a big fall from grace. He was in the MVP talks. He was supposed to be the MVP.
Yeah.
Well, they'll talk about him falling from the MVP race, but they're not going to specifically point out like, oh, he's hot garbage. He's underthrew this.
Yeah.
They're not going to do that. They'll do that with Stafford. Like how I said earlier, even with Tom Brady playing terrible, it's not his fault. It's everybody around him. And I'm like, yo, like I can directly tell you that he's cost the Buccaneers game. So this week, in this week, total has been strange. I mean, 45-0. New England put 45-0 against the Charge. Really?
Crazy.
Hey man, that's Billy B, man. Came out. I will say this though, to the Russell Wilson, Matthew Stafford point. I think Russell Wilson has a lot more like credentials behind him. Like he's a Super Bowl MVP. We've seen him win playoff games almost. I don't want to say single-handedly, but we see him do some amazing things. Like, I mean, even not just now today. I think the announcers were speaking like classic Russell Wilson because it looked like the Seattle's gonna come back from it there, but it wasn't him.
But that Super Bowl run came with an amazing defense and an amazing run game, a Hall of Fame running back. The second Super Bowl run came with an amazing defense and a Hall of Fame running back, and probably one of the better coaches in the league. So I'm just saying, I'm just wondering where's that same energy at in the media.
Yeah. What's your take on that, Sean?
No, we were just leaving off with you're talking about Seattle's defense, and they're definitely suspect because when you look at them a few weeks ago, they were just all over the place. They were really bad. And now all of a sudden, now Dunlap, they acquire him from Cincinnati. Now he plays a few games, and then now this defense all of a sudden actually looks all right. And we were like, okay, where's that at? And he brings up an excellent point with that because the media, that the same energy is not going to be there. You know what I mean? It's just not going to be there.
As far as like holding Russell Wilson to the fire?
Yeah. No one's going to, like he said, you pointed out perfectly, because you're not going to pinpoint his mistakes throughout the game. Yes, they're going to talk about him, how he dropped significantly in the MVP race. That's what they're going to point out.
Facts. Yeah. And they're not gonna say like with Stafford, they'd be like, with Stafford or any quarterback that they want to talk bad about, whether it be Kirk Cousins, Stafford, Matt Ryan, they're showing direct plays. See right here, he got to throw the ball here, Skip. You got to throw the ball here, Skip. Skip, if you throw the ball right here, I mean that's a first down. You pick up one. I'm just saying, Skip, right? Or Stephen A is gonna be sitting up there like, Max, I'm ashamed of you, not understanding that he is not who you think he is. Like that's how they gonna do it, right?
Yeah.
But nobody's going to talk about Russell Wilson. They're going to just say, this is a guy who's an MVP candidate, and mind how far he's fallen. Okay, well, show me why. They're not going to do that.
And
we'll see, man. He's going to be under the fire this week. What were you saying, Sean? I apologize.
No. Sorry to cut you off because
No, you're good.
Bring up an interesting point because you know how on one of the football talk shows on ESPN, I think it's about 4:00, whatever time it is.
NFL Live.
Yeah, it might be NFL Live. Anyway, they have Dan Orlovsky. You see how he breaks down certain quarterbacks, the way they play? Do you see him breaking down Russell Wilson? No. He breaks down guys like Carson Wentz on a consistent basis. He will, like you said, Matt Ryan, Matt Stafford. He's going to break down all of those guys, but he will not break down Russell Wilson. I just don't see that happening.
Man, y'all going to make me tune in tomorrow morning to all the shows just to see. Because I am curious, because like I think it'll be a story only because he was like an MVP candidate. But I think it is true. We don't really see him point out the flaws of guys like that. But I will argue that those guys generally do a lot more good than bad. But no, Russell Wilson has looked pretty rough these last stretch of games. I want to say even going back to the Arizona Cardinals games, the first matchup, where it was like a shootout. He threw a lot of interceptions that cost him, a lot of costly interceptions in that game. And I mean, like you guys said, no one really talked about it. Yeah, who do you think falls in the MVP like race lead? I guess now that Russell Wilson's kind of taking a step back, is it Patrick Mahomes?
I wouldn't say Patrick Mahomes is the MVP in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Honestly, who I would go with, they ain't gonna like. I would go with Aaron Donald.
Ooh, I like that. I like defensive guys.
Because they always so quick to give it to the quarterback, like, oh, it's a quarterback thing. But more than likely, what they're gonna do is, depending on how far the Buccaneers or the Packers go, one of those quarterbacks is going to win it.
The Sports Dude Eisen show says Rodgers. I can see Rodgers being in that conversation.
That's what I'm saying. It's going to be one of those two quarterbacks. But in my eyes, I would go with one of the defensive players because when you look at consistency and still getting the job done, it's been consistent from that defensive position. But like I said, they're going to downplay it, give it to an offensive player. And go from there. And it's a shame. It really is.
Who you got, Sean?
I'm gonna go with I think Mahomes ends up winning it, but Rodgers is right there, and Luke hit it right on the head here because the fact that you have two quarterbacks, they're definitely that's more of a quarterback award, the MVP, and that's what they're gonna end up giving it to. Aaron Donald. When you put him in the I love that pick because that's I think that's like a dark horse. Like when you
for sure, it's exciting.
Oh yeah.
That's a dark horse pick right there.
Yeah.
But I'll go with Mahomes. I think Mahomes ends up taking it.
Yeah, I agree. I think even too, like maybe you put in the conversation, and I don't know why I don't have any confidence in saying it. I feel kind of silly. What about Derrick Henry? Would you guys put a guy like Derrick Henry in the conversation?
No. I'm gonna tell you why. They're not gonna give it to him because he doesn't come off as that generational talent. If he was a generational talent who was consistently doing it, they'd be like, oh yeah, but his career is relatively still new and has relatively just taken off. So I don't see them giving him that type of accolades right now, given the fact that they're going to take part of that vote from the fan favorites. And so he's not going to fall in the fan favorites because people don't think running is sexy.
Yeah. Nowadays, especially. Back then, that was a thing, right? Running backs were the MVPs. You had Sean Alexander and Jerome Bettis. And
But those were Hall of Fame. Those were Hall of Fame or what they considered at the time generational talents. And on top of that, you got to look at it. The way the NFL is set up based on how the fantasy football is played out. So a lot of those people who go out for fantasy, they go for receivers and quarterbacks because it's a passing league. But the teams who are winning are running the ball. Like you rarely see people pick people from the New England Patriots as a fantasy pick because they know that they're probably going to run the ball more than they're going to pass it. So, but that's what's winning games.
Shout out to everybody in the comment section on YouTube. Shout out to you guys tuning in with us. The Sports Dude Iron Show says in 2 games without Adam Rodgers, Rodgers averaged over 300 yards a game and had 7 touchdowns. Donald is a great dark horse candidate, though. Okay. Shout out to Big Boy Productions. He said, big ups easy. Shout out to you, man. Who's your MVP? Feel free to comment, guys. Hit the like button. I'm brand new to this live game. Shout out to Luke G for putting me on and Ben from BS3 Radio. What up, Nate Ghost? Nate Ghost always tapping in, man. He always wants to go live with us, but it's always at the wrong times.
Listen, it's always good to get support, especially when y'all can just talk sports and it be about sports, and that's what we should be doing. Like I said, this week 13, I looked at a lot of things, and I looked at it. This is what happened when you got kids who get excited, man. His mom walks in the door and he done lost it. But and you'd have thought Michael Jackson came in the building.
Hey,
but anyway,
Mike.
Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? But if you were to look at this thing, I looked at each one of these games and I treated it like like how I would in terms of how it affects my team. Like if the Chargers do release Lynn, that's another prospect of player to take. Let me get my son together.
No. Speaking of, I think Sean and I had this discussion before. I've been on the bus for Lynn. I've liked Lynn as a coach. I figured he kind of dealt like a crappy hand. And he had a rookie quarterback and he's been making them look really, really good up until today. At this point, like a lot of their losses only been by 1 score, And I feel like to keep that competitive for a rough season is I
don't want to hear that though. I don't want to hear that a lot of the losses been by 1 score because that tells me that the game is being decided too soon and too quick, and that's often the coaching error. Because those games that are that close and they're not being closed out, that's where the coaching comes in play, and we're not hitting on those buttons. So, sorry about that, but yeah, we're not hitting on those buttons. So, to me, if we're bringing somebody in, it's not that. I'm just looking at it in terms of coaching vacancies. You look at the number of coaching vacancies right now. Obviously, the Lions. Obviously, the Texans. Obviously, you got the Falcons. Now you throw in the mix the Chargers. that's a tough cookie right there, man.
Yeah, I think they got to be like the favorite team to pick from too. What's your take, Sean?
Yeah, it's good. Just another year of a coaching carousel because we all know that the Jets spot's going to be open as well. It's crazy. I think Anthony Lynn is a good coach, but Luke brings up a great point is when you are losing all these games by 4, he hit it right on the head. It's actually a concern if you can't close out games and you can't manage right in a close game scenario. That's a big time question. That's yet to be seen from him how he can handle a high pressure situation in a close game. We don't know about him just yet with that. So when you look at someone like that, it's if you want to go with a little bit of like a veteran more experience for the Lions, I guess you could take a look at him. But I think personally, you guys should go young for a head coach. Like I think that's what you should be going for. And you might as well just get a young-minded, offensive-minded head coach. And that's where I think you should go for.
Yeah, that's what I'm in the camp of. I want an offensive-minded coach. It's just I feel like that's just the way of the league today. Like nowadays, like you look at like a lot of the great teams that are doing a lot with nothing. They're offensively led. I mean, the Chiefs offensively led. And as great as a team they are, is anyone really ever talking about their defense? Like are we ever talking about the Chiefs' defense?
Not really.
Not really. So it's like
yeah, but that's also more of the machine pushing narratives. Because if you go through and you look at that defense, there's at least 3 or 4 players that you could be like, damn, that's a pretty good play over there. So it's not like they don't have talent on the defense. The problem is they're so bent on pushing the narrative that Patrick Mahomes is the future of the NFL, and that's the difference.
Yeah, I would say though that like you probably point out 2 or 3 defensive players almost every team, at least 1 or 2. I guess for who would it be for a team like the Chiefs? Like who
you look at Chris Jones, you look at in their secondary,
Chris Jones a lot.
Tyrann Mathieu, they have talent on.
Yeah, you got Frank Clark. You got what's the linebacker name? I'm drawing a blank on him right now. God.
You know what I think they got? I think they have playmakers. They have guys like make the big plays on defense, like when it counts. Like because statistically they're not really doing any big numbers, but when it's like I guess we're talking about like clutch moments like for the coaches, we're seeing that from the defensive end with the Chiefs. Actually, yeah, they got an interception in the Super Bowl to seal the deal, didn't they? Against the Niners, wasn't that an interception that turned the ball over to Pat Mahomes?
Oh, who was that? I forgot.
I mean, it's way long ago. I'm bringing up some. Yeah, we don't got to talk about it. Hey, one of the surprises from today, though, man, I was surprised to see the Cleveland Browns, bro, put it on those fucking Tennessee Titans, bro. I did not expect that, at least to that caliber. You know what I'm saying? That they 41 points.
Well, it's one of the reasons why I like Elliott Wolf as the general manager because they have talent over there. It's the coaching is missing, and if they get better coaching, then to me the talent will play out in a way that gives you success. But they got tons of talent over there. I mean, it's so many stiff arms things that I see. It don't make no sense, man.
Yeah, it confused me when they were bad for a little bit because it felt like they had so much talent with Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry, that at that point people were still high on Baker, Nick Chubb, like Kareem Hunt. It felt like they could trip into the playoffs. Like something had to shake for them.
Yeah, I mean, but it's like I said, when you look at the talent gap, that's the thing. One thing nobody can say about Cleveland is Cleveland has a talent gap. They don't have a talent gap. They have a lack of direction gap. There's at least 4. I would argue there's probably about a good 8 or 10 people on the Browns that I would take on any of my teams that I like.
Oh, yeah, 1,000%, man. They're stacked.
Yeah.
So,
and that's right. You're right because the team, the amount of coaching changes that they've had, there's so many coaching changes with that team. It's just like it's amazing how they find that they're settling in. In all likelihood, it looks like they're going to get to the postseason. The way things are starting to shake out for them. But
1,000% they're gonna make it.
This is a first year head coach in Kevin Stefanski, and like they've been through a lot with coaching changes, and it's actually, to be honest with you, I'm glad that it's actually working out for them in the first year for a head coach because we haven't seen that in Cleveland for a while. Just so many bad teams.
Facts, yeah. I mean, or Detroit. That's why I don't like this. Like to me, The idea of taking a coach and whether the coach is offensive minded or young, I can care less. I believe that the two things that the next head coach or any head coach should have when you're bringing them in is, does he have a history of building a program? Meaning that he has a way of coming in and establishing something, whether it be he established a completely innovative offense or defense or special teams. Did he change that program where you can look statistically and see that, God, they're much improved, or you can look visually on top of that and say, wow, they wasn't doing this a few years ago, and this right here makes so much sense. That's good game management. That's the first thing you want to look for. Then the second thing that you want to look for is what is their experiences with dealing with hardships and loss. And what I mean by that is you're probably not going to get through a whole season with every single one of your players. How are you adjusted? What changes are you making that sets you up for a position to win? And a lot of the coaches that get hired don't have those two characteristics of experience that helps them with loss, or the ability to build a program. And that's why you see a lot of them fail.
But don't all those people who fit that like role have jobs? Like, aren't they all like secure? Like, who's out here with veteranship and like, I guess that.
Well, all of them don't have jobs. All of them don't have jobs, and the problem is the NFL recycle coaches too often. That coach can be on the college level, but they're not getting the shot because teams don't want to relinquish some of that power for them to get the players that they want. And so you can go out right now, and let's say, for example, like a guy like Mike Singletary, who has had a coaching history, who will never get another shot in the NFL just yet, until somebody goes out there as the coaching staff and say, hey, I'm bringing this guy in. He'll never get a shot. You go and look at some of the other names out there, people like Rex Ryan, who has that pedigree, who people don't understand, like why I'm so high on Rex Ryan, because I'm still trying to figure out, how do you go into a division with the New England Patriots and get to the AFC Championship game with Mark Sanchez as the quarterback? Yep. And then they give you Geno Smith and tell you, hey, good luck. So there are guys out there, they just won't get a shot. They just won't. We talked about one of the guys earlier, Lovie Smith. You think you can get him from Illinois? You think you can, there's some people that you can finagle around. But if you go into the younger pool of people, like, to me, I think Robert Saleh is more head coach ready than Eric Bieniemy, in my opinion.
I would agree.
So that's why when I look at it, I say to myself, what makes Eric Bieniemy qualified to be the next head coach? And to me, I can't tell you anything that makes him more qualified, other than the fact that I know that Andy Reid do a lot of things over there, and he's making people look good. So, but Robert Saleh, that defense is riddled with injuries. And what I say part of my equation is, you have to be able to deal with loss and show experience in surviving it. And he's doing just that.
What are you gonna say, Sean?
Oh, Rob Saleh too. Just it's amazing what he's been able to accomplish with so many guys down on the defensive side of the football. And it's like, now they're still, as of right now, they're still in the playoff mix. I know they're playing Buffalo, but hey, anything can happen. You don't know. Maybe that I feel like that's a potential trap game for Buffalo. Who knows what happens in that game? But could you imagine if they pull out that win? They're 6-6, and they're tied. They're tied with Arizona. That's crazy just to think about if San Fran can end up winning. But like, the enemy, I'm actually a little bit interested in like the reasoning why I think everyone would want Bieniemy, like Jet fans would want him right away, is because of just the name and which team he's on. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's the reasoning why everybody wants him. They don't know the true reason. They don't know. They're not looking at the big picture like this. Hey, would he actually fit like our potential number one pick with Trevor Lawrence? Would that work out? Would Bieniemy be a good parent for him? I don't know. Obviously he's working underneath Andy Reid and Pat Mahomes. We know the big picture of how he would work with his own quarterback. We just don't know.
And you hit the nail on the head, Sean, because what you're starting to see is how we as fans, we're just screaming out the names that we were told were good candidates. Like they told us Matt Patricia was a good candidate. And I first looked at his resume and I was like, but he has no experience as a head coach, not at a high school level, not at a college level, not at the pro level. Why is he a good candidate? What ended up happening was the plan B for the Lions was Mike Vrabel. And I'm thinking, well, at least Mike Vrabel actually played the game. This dude didn't do nothing. It wasn't. So it's one of the things where you have to ask yourself that question. What does Eric Bieniemy bring to the table? What makes him qualified? Who has he groomed as a quarterback? That team won 11 games with Alex Smith. Right? You know what I mean? Like this is not nothing shocking to me. But the thing that I look at is like, yeah, so he get along with players. Cool. That's cute. But when the going gets tough and decisions need to be made for real, is he the guy that I want to make those calls? I don't think so. I don't think that offense is just his baby and he makes all the calls. No, Andy Reid is not just relinquishing the offense like that. So to me, I think the name is hot because everybody hearing it. But like I said, the guy that I want, which I will go and I will offer him a lot to get him to come here to the Lions, is David Shaw from Stanford.
Ooh.
Because for me, David Shaw exhibits everything I want in a head coach. First of all, every one of these schools that you look at, LSU, Clemson, Alabama, players need a 2.0 to get into the school to play football. And we all know that a lot of the time they doctoring up grades. You know what you need to play in Stanford? like it's a 3.5 or something. It's like, what? To play football and be eligible, it's like a 3 something. How is he still getting talent? Like, I can't name all the players that's over there on Stanford, but they're still performing. They just beat a Cal team real recently. And then on top of that, everybody said that the mastermind behind Stanford was who? Jim Harbaugh. Yeah, Jim Harbaugh goes over to Michigan, gets every draft recruiting class you can find, always get rated in the top 5 of recruiting class, and produces nothing. Meanwhile, little old David Shaw over here doing his thing.
36.
All he do is win. All he do is win. Yeah. And I will offer the farm to get him to a team like the Detroit Lions.
That's interesting because I'm going back a few years now. I'm a Notre Dame fan, and I remember this big-time game against Stanford. It was a prime-time game. Notre Dame was on the road, and David Shaw and that team was terrific. And he was working with a quarterback that no one was talking about. I think his name was Kevin Hogan. I think it was Kevin.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was ridiculous. It's just like, that's not obviously he's not even a starting quarterback. He's not even a backup quarterback in this league. So what does that tell you right there? What he was working with. And he ends up having still terrific seasons there. And he's been tossed through the NFL rumor mill as a head coach for a few years now. And I just think that he definitely deserves a job. When you look at somebody from college, everyone looks at, oh, yeah, what about Urban Meyer? What about Lincoln Riley? And it's like, it's all right, but you're not looking at some other guys who had some big-time success with not, your big star names that you see.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, like I said, it's one of the things that what made me start paying more and more attention to Stanford was, to be honest with you, when they had the 2-headed dragons at running back. They had Sanders and they had Love. And I was like, oh man, this is a good little. And I started watching every game because of that. But then I found myself looking like, how are they even in these games? Like, what? Like these. Like, if you want to go by the star recruit, if you believe in that stuff, it's like they're not even getting the top recruits. How is he doing this? And then I looked at the injuries that he had, and I'm like, oh, they done. They're done. They still made a bowl game. They were still winning. And then I'm like, okay, all right, you know what? No way. Andrew Luck, he's gone, right? Because Andrew Luck at this point was one of the guys that he supposed to be like, oh, Andrew Luck's gone. He can't do anything. And the game plans that he have makes sense. And then you hear him talk about on draft night on what he saw in this player and that player and what they bring in or what system they fit in. And, I remember he was one of the few analysts on draft night who was like, I don't know if they should have took that player because he doesn't quite fit what their system is. And I'm like, this dude is like the Tony Romo of draft night. So he knows talent. He knows how to get everything out of the talent. but I don't think teams are going to be willing to give him the contract and to say, look, this is what you're going to do. How long is it going to take you? And come out just flat out and say, we're giving him 4 years. I don't care what happened. He gets 4 years. And if we're wrong, we'll correct it. We're sorry. Like, that's it. But I don't think you'll be wrong. I think when Nick Saban got to the pros, he would have been better if he didn't have to fight with the general manager and ownership about who he wanted on a regular basis. And so he's one of the guys I look at. But then I look at the other issue of the vacancies. And so when you had these vacancies, you know, it was because at one point I thought they was going to fire Frank Wright from the coach. He turned it around real quick. So, you know, it's a lot of things that we got to look at and try to figure it out. And that's why I said when I look at teams like the Browns, they're one move away from being successful. The teams like the Lions, they're one move away from being successful. If the Bears throw their hat in there, I think they're not as much of a sexy pick as some of the other markets. But Houston, who don't want to go there? The Jets, Jets got enough draft picks for you to rebuild your roster in one season. So just food for thought.
Just some other names. I pulled them up earlier, but shout out to Steven Purcell Dicker. He said the defensive coordinator from San Fran. He's from Dearborn. He's from Robert Saleh. Wasn't that your first favorite, Luke? Isn't that who we're calling for?
Yeah, he was my first one. He was the first one that I asked for. Because one, I knew he had ties with Michigan. I knew he was from Dearborn. I knew he had been down the coaching tree. But what impressed me was, like I said, he getting a lot out of nothing. A lot of people was not there. He was there, but then I started looking at the other vacancies, and I'm like, if I'm him, and I'm looking at the history of the Lions, a team that when you go to, you don't become a head coach afterwards. I don't know if I want to go there for my first head coaching job. You know, not when I can go to Houston. You know what I mean? Not when I can go to the Jets and rebuild that team in my image. Not when I can go to, say right now, the Chargers, right? Or Falcons, who I know they'll give me the check to do whatever I want. So you look at his options. Even if he chose the Bengals, at least he starts off with a young quarterback, and if he drafts another quarterback, who's gonna kill him for that? So it's just those little things that I don't know if the market is there anymore.
This one I hate to see. I don't care what he. Shout out to Sports Dude Hines from tapping in. He comments his thoughts on if Harbaugh went to Detroit. And I don't get why it works that way sometimes. Like how Harbaugh had success in the NFL, which is supposed to be like a harder or tougher league to coach in, but then goes to college and gets out-coached by Nick Saban and apparently whoever's at the Michigan State head coaching position as well. Like it's discerning to me, you know, because he is at Michigan a blue chip program who gets top tier talent, you know. So it's like, why can't you get it done?
Because there's nobody else to blame when you get it wrong. That's his recruiting class. He's the one going to those people's houses, sitting with their parents, lying to their grandparents, and telling their siblings that we're going to get you all the gear you want. He's the one doing it. Yeah. And then when it don't work out, who takes all the blame for it? He does. But in the NFL, he can defer that blame and say it's X, Y, and Z. Now here's my view. If we get Harbaugh, I ain't gonna kill him for it. But I think that Harbaugh coming to Detroit would be a big mistake because Harbaugh right now is getting drugged through the mud for what's going on in Michigan. Now you're going to keep him in Michigan, move him from Ann Arbor to Ellen Park, and say, coach the Detroit Lions. And we just got done dealing with a Matt Patricia era. They already mad at him. So the first thing that go wrong is going to be tiki torches everywhere, pitchforks, and a crowd of people out there rioting, talking about, so you knew he was garbage at Michigan and you brought him to the Lions. Only the Lions can do that. Will this team sell?
I'll be leading the group.
See what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. So he's going to come in without even getting a fair shake. You know, he's not, you know, Patricia got 3 seasons to look ugly, right? He's going to get like a season and a half. Look at this.
He should get nothing. He should get nada. Don't put that man in that position, man.
See? And this is why you can't break him. You can't break him from Michigan, even though he got the most qualifications. You can't break him here because one of the things he had when he was with the 49ers was he had a good general manager. And when that general manager left, you started seeing the team do some things different. So I'm just saying, you know, I think it'd be a disaster to do that.
Yeah, shout out to White Belt MMA for tapping in. He says Giants with the dub.
Yeah.
That's another fellow Giants fan for you, Sean. So, and congratulations to you guys. Yeah,
Hey.
what's going on with Daniel Jones? Did he get benched? Did he get hurt? I didn't even know that. Bro, it was like halfway through the game. I realized that was Colt McCoy. I was like, what? I'm like, oh, I didn't know Daniel Jones was number 12. I thought he was like 7 or 8 or something.
He had a hamstring injury. Now this is going back to last week, the game in Cincy. Colt McCoy ended up taking over in that game for him, and the Giants barely pulled out the W in that one. So now throughout the week prior to playing Seattle, Jones was really pushing it. He was trying to at one point. I think it was in the middle of the week. I believe it was like Wednesday, Thursday, and he was trying to show the coaching staff and Joe Judge that, hey, I'm just about good to go. But obviously, they ended up feeling like, hey, he's not ready to go just yet. It's better off that he misses at least one game, especially coming off a hamstring injury. We don't want to make that a severe long-term injury. So it's like, let's not rush this kid back yet. Give him a week or two off, and we'll see. We'll go from there. But big-time win for the Giants. I want to say 2 touchdowns was from Alfred Morris. You believe that? Alfred Morris scored 2 touchdowns for the Giants today.
I do though, because they've been like doing. I know Gallman's been getting like the big numbers. At least I know in fantasy. Like when I'm looking,
he had a day today.
Yeah, but like I feel like everybody's getting like a little touch there at running back. Like when I actually watch the team play, it's them and Indianapolis. It's like a true committee. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a sign. That's the first indicator that you got at least a little something at head coach, because he understands that, okay, I have some limitations with my quarterback. So how can I protect him? Run the ball. Now let's flip that over to the Bengals, right? Who quarterback as a rookie was leading the league in attempts. Now his leg.
R.I.P. Joe Burrow's knee.
You know what I'm saying? His knee is about as mush as potted meat. I mean, it's terrible. So I mean, he over there right now with the spam knee right now. Like it's just a bunch of pieces trying to figure out where they go. And so to me, I'm impressed with what the Giants are doing and how they're trying to stick to the run, even though Saquon's not in. They still gonna run the ball, and they don't lost a number of running backs. I think they picked up Devontae Freeman at one point too, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and still just trying to run the ball. And then when they throw the ball, I think their average throws is about like 10 to 15 yards. They're protecting their people, but it's still a lot of trying to get a system in place for it to work. I think that run where you saw him fall over when we thought he was going to score and a sniper came out of nowhere for no reason and decided to take out his legs. I think what you saw in that regard is probably why that hamstring not as good. But I think the Giants, if they can add a few more pieces at the receiver spot, I will move on from the tight end Ingram, because he should not. There's no way you can be that fast and not really just kill people. I mean, it's like Vernon Davis. I should tell people all the time that the 49ers will go as far as Vernon Davis goes because he's a nightmare. And Ingram has yet to show that he can just be 100% nightmarish weapon. I would move on from him and find me a more complete tight end that can get me something to be afraid of. I mean,
he's nice though.
Yeah, but here's the problem though. Let's be honest. What did that man run in the 40 again? Correct me if I'm right or wrong. What did he run, like a 4.4?
I couldn't even tell you. I can look it up though real quick. Hold on.
That range, he's right. He's somewhere in that vicinity. Yeah.
Okay. And he's got linebackers like Christian Jones running with him. What the hell is going on? It doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? Like that's like you right now, Easy, running step for step with Usain Bolt. That does not compute with nobody. That's making sense. Easy, you not running. You're not running. I'm just okay.
Black man down. That's fucked up.
Listen, man. Listen. Hey, I'll put it on me. I ain't no way in hell I'm running step for step with him.
Evan Ingram ran a 4.4.
That's my point. He ran a 4.4, and when you look at it, he should be getting way more separation. And the problem with him is he's not a route running technician. That's why he just speed.
That's his problem, I think, for sure too.
Yep, he just speed. He better find somebody to teach him how to run routes. And if he figured that part of the game out, it's gonna get ugly then.
Sean, you're a Giants fan. How you feel about that?
You want something? I would hate to give up on him, but Luke has a big time point here because like it's been multiple times throughout this season where he dropped the football on obviously where he should have caught the ball, and it's like this is on multiple occasions now. I would hate to move on from him, but if they do, I don't think I would be extremely disappointed. I'm now, especially where the Giants are on track to end up drafting, possibly in the early, who knows, maybe in the early 20s, they could somehow get their first round pick end up being. Just think about this. Look at the kid, Kyle Pitts from Florida. You want to talk about a tight end? That kid is a complete tight end. I would love to have him. I think if the Giants really, if they want to move on from Ingram, draft Kyle Pitts with your first round pick. I'm telling you.
Plus, you make a very good point, Sean. If they do move on from Ingram, you know how many people are going to still see that speed and go, "Ooh, that's another Waller. I can do this with Waller," and it's not going to work out like that.
Waller, man, that guy has a hell of a story. Did you guys hear he got kicked out of the league and he was in rehab and everything to come back and do what he's done, man. Super interesting story there with Darren Waller over there in Oakland. Shout out to everybody listening to the chat too. My bad, I've been reading some of this stuff. Let me catch up with some of these comments. Sports Dude Iron Show. He says at first Harbaugh. I thought Harbaugh would be good for Detroit. After looking and researching, I think they should get San Francisco's defensive coordinator. Yeah, he's growing on me, bro. Robert Saleh.
I don't think we're gonna have a shot at him. I really don't. I think he's gonna listen. If you look up right now, everybody want Eric Bieniemy. He's going to take a job somewhere where it's hot. Let's get that out the way.
Eric Bieniemy. If Eric Bieniemy is what he's hyped up as, can you imagine if he went to Houston with Deshaun Watson? That'd be nasty. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were going to say something, Sean. I apologize.
No, I didn't have anything to say about that. To be honest with you, I just don't know. Like I said earlier about him, it's just like I can't even have a comment about that because I don't know if it's going to be electric with Watson because once again, we don't know what he's like working with a big time quarterback on his own. He's working on Andy Reid, and that's why. And once again, that big name of Kansas City, Andy Reid, Pat Mahomes. That's the reason why. Just like when we were talking about Matt Patricia earlier. The reason why everyone said he was a qualified candidate was because he was underneath Bill Belichick. That's why everyone was hyping that up because he was working underneath Bill Belichick. So look, this guy, he's one of the best coaching candidates out there. Look what happened. He was absolutely garbage. Worse than Caldwell. Horrible.
Yeah, no, listen, you hitting all kind of nails today. You don't even need a nail gun for this. I mean, I was asking people like, why were y'all still? He's a rocket scientist. I'm not asking him to build me a rocket ship. I need a football team, you know. And he don't succeed in that area, in my opinion. But you're right. The hype was about. It was more about the fact that he was with Bill Belichick. But what they should have been saying is everybody. I mean, everybody who leaves from Bill Belichick don't look good. And it's just the reality. Mike Vrabel might be the best looking one so far.
Yeah, and he really, I think he was like a linebackers coach, and then he left on to Houston, and he was with Bill O'Brien. Yep,
Bill O'Brien. You can't even say his name to nobody from Texas. I got a friend from Texas, and if you even say the word Bill, you can't even finish. You can't even finish. You be like, whoa, don't you dare. Yeah, right. Yeah, shut up. You know, it's like, what in the world, man? It's like, but yeah, it's one of the things where for me, there's a lot of coaching candidates that I think, if put in the right situation, will succeed in places that will really yield a lot of success. It's just about teams giving them a chance. If you want the ultimate competitor, Rex Ryan is by far the ultimate competitor. Like if you go and watch the Hard Knocks episodes where they had the Jets on there, he was cussing out everybody because they refused to sign Darrelle Revis.
I like the points you made on Rex Ryan, and I felt that way when he was there and with the Jets, and I rooted for him, in fact, because I like to root against Tom Brady. It's fun. He's the golden boy of the NFL, right? But no one's hired him since, right? Why has he got these cooties? Why isn't another organization to give him a shot if he's like
because he's in the media. He's in the media calling BS on stuff. That's why.
Because in the media calling what? Calling BS. Oh, like just like
he's calling the BS on stuff. Like when they were talking about they going to tour, he made the argument, why are y'all gonna stick with Fitzpatrick? He ain't done nothing. Let's see what the other guy is.
Yeah, the stuff like that concerns me. I'm the same thing with Louis Riddick. You know what I'm saying? Like he's been like in a lot of general manager like rumors, but he's never actually been picked up or signed. I don't think he's even been brought in for interviews. So it's like I don't know, stuff like that just makes me nervous a little bit. I
wouldn't touch Louis Riddick.
I was going through earlier. I had it on the screen, but I don't want to distract anybody. Other names that they're talking about is Dennis Allen, the New Orleans Saints defensive coordinator, which I wouldn't be too keen on that one. But he's the first thing to pop up. Joe Brady, former LSU offensive coordinator, now the offensive coordinator for the Carolina Panthers. Matt Campbell, Iowa State head coach. Todd Bowles is back in the rumor hat. I don't know why. They do that well.
You know what they're doing. This is what they did. They literally said, "I'm going to be able to predict who's the next GM or next head coach great," and they just named every damn body. Louis Riddick.
That's a good point.
Louis Riddick has not done anything to warrant a position. Go and look at. Okay, first of all, let's talk about Louis Riddick for a minute. Okay, go and look at Louis Riddick's resume. He was director of player personnel, right, from 2010 to 2013 with the Eagles. He missed more than he hit. He passed on more talent than he took. If you look at the best draft he ever had, it probably would be 2013, where he got Cox, Vinny Curry, maybe Nick Foles. But again, what has he done? Like, what has he really done as a general manager?
Nothing.
Not one thing. Let's talk about the Panthers. The Panthers offensive coordinator. All right.
I don't know his name, but he has Aaron Rodgers. I disqualify every almost Packers quarterback. Same way we disqualify Bill Belichick coaching candidate. It's like, come on, man. You're working with the best.
But it's one of them things when you look at it, and it's like, what has this person done? Mm-hmm. Like, that's all I ask.
Yeah.
That's the only question that matters. Show me what he did. Show me. And the two things that a team can these okay, first of all, I'm gonna show you a Lion-esque move. I'm gonna show you a Falcon-ish move, a Houston Texan-ish move. I'm gonna show you. Here go the Lion-ish move, Jason Garrett. They don't have no reason for it.
Yeah, where did that come from? I didn't see that anywhere, and I want to smack over for that.
It came from Jimmy Johnson suggesting it on today's pregame show. Okay? That's all it takes for one person to put the name out there in the media. The fans latch on to it like leeches, and there we have it. The media jumps on it, and oh, yeah, he's a good candidate. He did nothing with top 5 talent that entire time in Dallas. They've had everything that you always needed in Dallas, from running backs to quarterbacks to receivers. I mean, they had Terrell Owens, Des Bryant, Marion Barber, Tashard Choice. I mean, you just keep going down the list. And all he gave you at best was mediocrity at best. Now, here go that next move, right? This would be a Falcon-esque hiring. They will go out and sign a guy like the Panthers offensive coordinator, who was the coordinator for the LSU football team. They'll go out and sign a guy like him and go, well, we did so much better under our offensive coordinator, offensive head coach. No. He doesn't have the experience. He doesn't have the chops. Why are you doing this again? Don't do this to your team again. You know, the last time you tried this thing, the guy left you in mid-season. And what's his name? Patrine, whatever his name is. He left him. You go to the Texans. Yeah, him. You go to the Texans. And if they this would be the most Texanish hire I ever seen in my life. What they would do is they would just be like, we're going to retain Romeo Cornell. That's some Texan stuff right there. Mm-hmm. We're the smart guy in the room. We'll keep the guy we got. That's stupid.
Speaking of like bad hires and mediocrity, what was kind of random at the time when the Cardinals hired the I think it was a college offensive coordinator at the time. Who's their head coach? I can't think of his name at the top of my head right now.
Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah. What are you guys thinking on him now? Because the Falcons, the Cardinals are falling here. They're falling. They're almost at 500 even.
Well, the problem was when they brought him in, he had no resume in the first place. However, I was okay with what they did because guess what? They sat there. They brought in Steve Wilks, and Steve Wilks went 3-4 god awful 13. And the first thing that they said is he not the answer. One season, he not the answer. Get him out of here. Brilliant, like 100% brilliant. But then you bring in Cliff Kingsbury to kind of implement this style of play, and his problem is he don't have a strong staff, in my opinion. Vance Joseph, as a defensive coordinator, still don't know how to use Isaiah Simmons. I'm dumbfounded by this. I don't know how you don't know how to use him. And you go through and look at the defense as a whole, they do certain things well, but overall, they just seem like it's a lot of go, go, go. And it's like it's no real moxie to it. And then he comes in with this whole idea, we're gonna air raid it out. But I'm like, you got running backs and good ones, and yet you want to highlight Kyler Murray because what, he cute? I mean, what are you doing here? Like, I don't understand. Like, what is your logic behind this? Like, I don't.
Yeah, you're right.
Dude, how many times have you seen Kenyon Drake break a long run, and then they come up the very next set of plays is pass, or my favorite RPO run with the quarterback? Why?
Yeah, it was working at the beginning of the season too. Like they were like a hot team to talk about, but now they've fallen to 6-6, and the year prior he was 5-10. So it's like, I don't know.
I think a lot of times when a head coach come in or somebody come in that's new, they have all this success, and I got a lot of heat for saying that Russell Wilson should have been an MVP the year that they gave it to Lamar Jackson, and I took a lot of heat for that because they was like, well, what you mean Lamar doing this, Lamar doing that? And I said, the problem is the way they set it up for Lamar to do these things is all set up through the run. What you talking about? See, the real hero on that team was Melvin Ingram. And when they couldn't run the ball no more and it was asked for the quarterback to carry the team, things got real. And so, oh, you crazy. First playoff game, they took away the run. What happened? Oh, it got real ugly. Now they out of the playoffs. Right? But then the worst part about it is now I got film on what you like to do with them and how you like to use them. And so defensive coordinators, unless you work for the Lions, they're smart enough to make adjustments, right? And so now you look at Lamar Jackson, he's talking about, well, I think we're not doing so well because people know our players and they're calling them out. No. If that's the case, then you're doing is you're tossing your coaches under the bus. But you weren't tossing them under the bus when they were calling that same stuff for you and it was working. If you're a better quarterback, adapt, adjust, and you have the power to change your plays instead of looking to the sidelines all the time. And so to me, you're starting to see a lot of that with Kyler Murray, where it's all like baby, the quarterback. He looks to the sideline for play calling. What you want me to do? You're not going to get far with that. You're not. And to me, that's why you're seeing a lot of these gaps and these things change. But that same team who was hot garbage still got better than a lot of teams. And that's a shame.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested to see how they end out this year and like what's the verdict of it, because it is only like each of those guys' second year and they haven't been like horrible. They're definitely starting to look a little bit sketchy to me at least.
Man, listen, the Cardinals got a lot of talent over there, and I'm still trying to figure out like how come Andy Isabella is not more involved in the passing game. Like, look, let's this the receiving core people. Stay with me. DeAndre Hopkins.
Fire.
Larry Fitzgerald, Keyshawn Johnson, Christian Kirk, Andy Isabella. Most of those guys can go to any other team and be starting right now.
Yep.
And 9 times out of 10, they're not featured players. Like, they should literally be the new greatest show on turf. They got the running back. Look, they got the running back. They got a semi-okay tight end.
Running back. What running back they got?
Kenyon Drake.
You that high on him? I'm sorry, I'm just not that high on Kenyon Drake. But I'm listening. Keep going.
What? I am absolutely high on Kenyon Drake.
And if we're just talking about this season, yes, between him and even Chase Edmonds,
him too.
Yeah,
Edmonds been terrific for them.
Right, they're just not featured like they're supposed to be. Like you don't even see a lot of screens up the backfield. It's all this RPO trash, and then you see like Andy Isabella. This dude's a nightmare in the slot. Like, I don't even understand how they're not even getting more passing yards if you're gonna be passing as much as they pass. I don't understand how, like, you look at your receiving core. Like, it's not even, that's a cheat code.
Mm-hmm.
Like the worst part of their team is probably the offensive line, right? Probably. But defensively, there's all type of weapons from top to bottom. Buda Baker, Byron Murphy. You just
Chandler
keep going.
Jones is healthy.
I'm just saying, you just keep going.
So much talent, and when we were talking about Isaiah Simmons earlier, I think, to be honest with you, they might have been shocked that when they were on the clock that he was available for them. I think they might have been shocked, and when they drafted him, it's just still crazy. It's mind-boggling to me how they can't figure out where they should play this guy, and you hit it right in the head. I don't know what they're going to do with him, because to this point in his rookie season, it's like, how do you expect this guy to – how do you expect him to settle in next year? What is going to happen next year for him if you can't tell him this is the position you're mainly going to play? I don't know what's going to happen with him in Arizona.
If he had came to Detroit, he would have had a bigger impact because his role would have been defined. He would have been an in-the-box safety / linebacker. Simple.
I don't know. Our coach didn't prove too competent there.
No, they wouldn't. But you got to look at it. They got Tracy Walker in the box, so they would have put Tracy Walker at the free safety spot. But I'm just saying. But when you look at it, like for example, right, when I look at the Cardinals, right, the first thing that jumped out to me is, which one, Sean is right. They were shocked. They actually have a whole video. I'm not joking. It's a whole video that's documented them doing the entire interview process with Isaiah Simmons on their YouTube channel. Check it out, people. It's a beautiful video where they're documenting, and he gets up and walk out the room, and they go, if he's there, we're taking him. He's our pick. When the Detroit came up and they were looking, they were like, Detroit didn't take him? So they're like, okay, he's clearly going to go to like one of these other teams, like the Giants or somebody. Or they didn't take. And when they got to their pick, they got that video on YouTube as well. And they showed them, they were so ecstatic. They were like, he's still there? Hurry up for somebody to change their mind. Hurry up, put the pick in. Their pick was already in before the other team had made the pick. Like, that's how happy they was to get him. And then they get him in the first couple of games of the season. He has all the bit of 35 snaps. Now, some of y'all may say that's a lot of snaps. Okuda had 76 in one game. So 35 snaps in over 5 games is not a lot. so they're just not using them. I don't know. I don't get it. Like it's just weird.
I'm always so conflicted with that stuff too, because like these guys are like NFL head coaches, right? And like assistants and defensive coordinators and stuff like that. But like when you see silly stuff like that, we may find it silly, but they're like the professional in that field. Like what are we missing? You know what I'm saying? Is it like, are they just like, is there like a whole other level of genius that they have? Or like, are they just like, is it just that easy to become a coach? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on?
No, I think what you see is what you're seeing is people who are unwilling to adapt to the talent that they have. And that's the kryptonite to any coach. Matt Patricia was going to force feed man coverage on the defense who didn't have man coverage cornerbacks.
Yeah.
Don't understand it. 80% of the plays, and a rookie on top of that. You go through and you look at some of these teams and you ask yourself, why are you not adapting? I mean, you go all the way back to the Rams under Jeff Fisher. He had all this young talent that could do all these things, but what did he do? He forced it on them. Go to people like Joey Harrington. Joey Harrington told this story. I did a video on it because I thought it was freaking ridiculous. Where he first got to the Lions, and our head coach at the time was Steve Mariucci. They were giving him his playbook, and he was noticing in the plays that, hey, if I call this, they're going to send a blitz and people from here, here, and here. And what he was told from that coaching staff was, don't audible. This is how you do it. You run the play anyway, and you just got to figure it out. And he was thinking, like, what? And he said, well, I wasn't better than everybody else because I was more athletic. I was better because I was more well-prepared, and I saw things before they happened. And if I can't audible out of this, I'm going to get in trouble. And what he was told was, well, Bill Walsh didn't let Joe Montana audible, and you ain't going to audible. But you're going to look at that 49ers team and tell me how many times you have to really worry about Joe Montana being under duress. It's amazing to me. And so a lot of these coaches refuse to adjust to their talent. It doesn't make sense.
No.
Shout out to everybody on YouTube and on Twitch who's tuning in with us. If you guys are, thank you for watching us, because I know there's a football game on. If you guys want a score update, the Denver Broncos are up 3-0 against the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes only with 20 yards, though, so the defense might be putting it on a little bit there. I need my man Travis Kelce to come through with at least 11 more fantasy points for me, so I can take some bread home tonight.
Well, I'm gonna root for you just for that point of it. I hate fantasy football. I'm gonna root for you for that point.
I appreciate it, man. What you guys take on the quarterback play from Taysom Hill?
To be honest with you, I'm surprised by him in general, just because of like just his versatility in general, and like obviously when Breeze got hurt, I didn't even know what to expect from Taysom Hill, and I thought that hey, the Saints might struggle a little bit because maybe hey he might have to rely on Alvin Kamara a lot in the passing game, because we all know that he's been big time for them in the passing game this year, and like maybe guys like Michael Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders might get less receptions because, hey, we don't know with his arm just yet. We don't know how that's going to be. But now, all of a sudden, they're putting up a ton of points. And it's just amazing to me what they've been up to. But for the Saints moving forward, obviously they need Breeze back, because without him, they're going to choke in the postseason again. That's just my take with him.
Yeah, plus, to add to what Sean is saying, they're not asking Taysom Hill to win games.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's this is where good coaching come into play. They're not asking him to be the one to carry the team and win the game. They're asking him not to mess up, and they put him in position to not mess up. And then what they do on top of that is they introduce things that they wasn't showing before. Like he has a whole playbook that's designed just for him. They use periodically in games when they had Breeze playing. Now they're opening all that up, and a lot of teams are like, man, what the hell is this? What is this formation? Oh, he keeping the ball? What the hell? This is something totally new. Next year, if they try that same stuff with Taysom Hill, man, we're gonna be talking about y'all better draft a quarterback, and it's not gonna work. Yeah. So it's one of them things where it's like, look, people don't want to believe this, but like you don't need a superstar quarterback to win in this league. Mm-hmm. You need a good coach though.
Yes. I agree 100%, man, wholeheartedly. That's been my theory. I mean, we've talked about it on the show before. Guys like Trent Dilford. No disrespect to my Giants fan to tune in with us, Sean Kieran and White Belt MMA, but Eli Manning. I never really thought of him as a lead. Although, shout out to BS3 Ben Radio. When we were on his show, we pulled up the stats. Eli's actually up there, man. We look at top 10 of almost everything. He's in those categories. But I don't think you need a superstar quarterback. You need the coaching. And I mean, we see it time and time again with a lot of these star quarterbacks go down and they still maintain and make it to the playoffs.
And you see it with obviously what the Saints are doing. They're still winning. With Taysom Hill, it's just like like I said with they of course they would love to have Drew Brees back. That might end up putting them over the top. But once again, Taysom Hill there, you just never know what he can do in the playoffs. Maybe they have a magical run. Who knows? Maybe they go the distance with him. And just because all you need is the guys, your supporting cast. And that's what it comes down to, is your supporting cast. And like we said, the coaching. And having Kamara in the passing game for you too. Michael Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders, your tight end, everybody. And the defense is playing amazing as well. So just to have that, that's key for me, And if I'm Taysom Hill, that's why he's playing well, because he feels comfortable with his supporting cast. He knows that they got his back.
Yeah. What's been interesting with him too, it's almost been better week. Like I remember the first week I watched play, I was like, oh my God, like, why isn't Jameis Winston playing? He had the 232 yards, but it was I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong stats, but Taysom, actually no, same thing. Yeah, just the 233 yards. A lot of it was him just rushing. A lot of like gimmicky stuff. Then we had last week, same thing. I think he had like 2 rushing touchdowns, and today we actually saw him like two passing touchdowns. It's like he's getting better every week too.
It's not, like I said, it's not a matter of getting better, but it's a matter of people trying to figure out, what are you doing with him? Like, are you going to be doing the gadget plays with him? Are you going to be doing the trick stuff? Or what are you doing with him? So that's confusing a lot of teams. And the thing is, Sean, man, I don't know what Sean been all my life. I've been meeting people like this around me. The DSA is as close as of a strong, sports mind or group that I ever been around who know their stuff. And Sean, man, you are hitting it on the head. We'll talk about that supporting cast, because when the playoffs come, the first thing they're going to say is take away his supporting cast. Who is his favorite 2 people he like to look at first? Oh, that's what he want. We taking that away, and it's going to fluster him, because by the time he get to that third read, we can get to him. It's one of the reasons why I think the Giants were the perfect team to beat the Patriots. They knew that where was like seriously, where was like Tom Brady running? Nowhere. And what they have, the D line to touch them every single time. And that changes the way that the games are played. And so to me, Taysom Hill is having success because one, people are still trying to figure out like what the hell are they doing with him? But Sean Payton over there with the Mr. Grinch, I don't stole your Christmas smile on his face, cooking up all kind of stuff, and they can't figure it out.
Hey, why he really look like the Grinch though?
Dude, like I can just picture him with the smile going up and him putting his hands together and stuff. Like, yeah, like you know.
He looks like the Grinch though. Like if you were just painting him green, if like the face would fit.
Dude, I'm telling you that dude. But it's because he a genius, man. He a genius.
Man. I'm looking at the stats from last week. Granted, they played a quarterbackless Denver Broncos, but that doesn't say too much well, I guess it does. But Taysom Hill only had 78 yards and an interception.
How many attempts?
16.
Think about this.
To his strengths.
When's the last time a starting quarterback had 16 attempts in a game and they win?
You know what's crazy? I want to say whatever year, I don't know if he won the MVP that year. Tom Brady. I think it was the year the Eagles won. He had a game where the Patriots only had the limited Tom Brady 12 throws total throughout the entire game.
Like I said, it's a rare thing, dude. You don't see that kind of stuff. That like today. They know, Russell Wilson 43 attempts, like 43 attempts.
Yeah,
it's just too many passes, man.
Way too many. I can't even say they almost need it because we see situations where people don't. This week though, Taysom threw 37 passes, 27 of 37, 232 yards and 2 touchdowns. Today he was actually a quarterback, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, but
it was set up from weeks upon weeks of showing that look, he could run it. So now they kind of keep that extra dude in a spy, and now he just got to stay in the pocket, which freezes the spy dude. Mismatch made, throw the ball down the field, and he got weapons to throw to. He got Mike Thomas.
Yeah. Kamara, man, just one of my
favorites. Kamara is another nightmare.
Trayvon Smith, I think.
Trayvon Smith. I mean, like I said, they got ways to get the ball out to people and get it out fast. Plus, I'm not sure if there's a stat for this or not, but I have a tendency to look to see how long it takes for that ball to come out. They not asking him to hold the ball a lot, and he's not taking a lot of the shots down the field.
Yeah.
The only time he takes the shots down the field is when they get like in that red zone, close like across the 50 mark. Then they start taking those shots, but they're not asking him to do a lot, man. And this is the way of the NFL. This is the way that it's supposed to be. Brad Johnson is a Super Bowl champ because they didn't ask him to be the winner of the games.
That's true. That's another one of the quarterbacks.
I'm saying Brad Johnson, Trent Dilfer, you keep going, man. Joe Namath. People hate when I say that. Joe Namath ain't but one supposed to win on Super Bowl.
Hey, when you see that, that'd be a good one for you to do like a video on or something like that. Like,
yeah, then I got to get cussed out by people for them saying, listen, go and look at my video that says Okuda's not worth the top 10 pick. Boy, I got so many thumbs down. I don't think nobody even watched the video. They just hit thumbs down. They was heated.
Yeah, I'm in the camp because I like to be positive with my teams. Is like once we have a guy, I guess critique him that rookie year, but like we have him at that point. We just have to root for him as a player, like, and hope he eventually develops. But like, I understand the frustrations. It's not his fault though. He's taking number 3, but it just feels like I don't know.
You know what my problem is? I don't care where he was taken. My problem is they're still not using him right, and to me, some of the narrative that was put out for him as a player, I just thought were false. Like he's a shutdown corner. And I'm like, oh really? So who did he shut down? Everybody. No, seriously, who did he shut down? He didn't play a legit quarterback to receiver tandem until Clemson, and those receivers killed him. They just dropped the ball. Oh, you out your mind? I said, go look at this game against Michigan. That Donovan Peoples, whatever his name is, that guy destroyed him. Yep. He was holding so much. I thought he was in vogue. It was terrible. And nothing. Then he come out and in the interview process, a guy I had a hard time covering was Quintez Cephas. You had a hard time covering everybody. You didn't cover nobody. Like nobody. You didn't cover KJ Hamler. You didn't want no parts of that smoke. You didn't cover Jamar Chase. So there's a lot of narrative that was put out there that I'm like, that's not true. The film don't say that. And then I watch him in the league, and every time I watch him, I'm like, oh God, he's a safety. And then everybody go, man, he's only been a rookie year. He's a safety. What do you mean? You don't see cornerbacks tackling like that. That's a safety. Like that's a safety. Then what happened? We get our first dose of it. I'm still trying to figure out what was the route that the Packers ran, and the receivers ran for the Panthers that where they just ran right at the field. They didn't even really there wasn't no double move, no stutter step. They just ran past them.
Some gangster shit. Like y'all can't stop us. Fuck
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Terrible, man. Just terrible. So I think if they move him to safety, he'd be a Hall of Famer.
Score update for the Broncos Chiefs. It's 3-3. Stat leaders: Pat Mahomes 72 yards. That's about it. I mean, it's a 3-3 game. Ain't too much popping off right now. Any other big games you guys want to talk about? I do want to put you guys on the spot and ask you one other question afterwards, though.
Okay. A big game that's. I mean, at this point, the playoffs is pretty much figured out. Yeah. You know what? I would go with that Pittsburgh Raven game. I thought was a big one.
Yeah.
That was a big game. I know it was a little bit late delay, but to have football on Wednesday was nice.
I missed it, man. I forgot.
A lot of people did. Trust me, I didn't. I couldn't
like 3
forget.
p.m. or 4 p.m. too, like something crazy.
Yeah, it was something like that. Yep. But yeah.
So
thank God for Sirius Radio, man. Sirius Radio and that the NFL Pass thing where you can watch the games live.
Oh yeah.
I watched the game and I'm telling you, man, a lot of people are trying to figure out if the Steelers are going to go undefeated to a Super Bowl, and I said they don't care about that. They don't care
because it don't matter. It really don't. It matters. Yeah, the playoffs.
I think they might even end up resting their players like the last week of the season or the last 2 weeks of the season, because the head coaches come out many times and was like, "Who cares if you go undefeated and lose?"
That's my favorite coaches, man. I love Mike Tomlin, man.
Yeah, but the organization is classy. Like, did you know that anytime they do something good for the Steelers, everybody get rewarded, like down to the people who stitch names on the jerseys and everything. So like he has like certain rules, like before Rooney passed away and the family still uphold these rules. He has certain rules like on Christmas, Thanksgiving and stuff. He gives all the people that work for him bonuses, turkeys, if your kids are going to college, like if you're a student, if you work for him and you got kids who are in school, he'll pay part of their tuition. That family makes sure that you want to stay there.
That's dope.
Where
do they get that money from?
You know what? I don't know. I just basically what it is I have a friend who he went to the athletic training program at Eastern Michigan, and he ends up getting his first job with the Pittsburgh Steelers as an athletic trainer. He still worked for him. And he was like, dude, when they won the Super Bowl, he was like, dude, I got a ring. I was like, yeah, right. Like, you're the athletic trainer. Like, yeah, right. Nope. He paid to have everybody on that team in that building, the janitor, everybody, replica Super Bowl rings.
Wow.
Blew my mind. I was like, are you serious? He said, yeah. He said, this is a team effort. He celebrates birthdays with money gifts. Like I've never seen anything like this. I tell him I might go back to school and be an athletic trainer. He's like, if you get on the Pittsburgh Steelers, then yeah. Can I? Yeah. Can I? But right, like what's good on that? You can give me in. I mean, what? But yeah, he told me like if you're supposed to get off at 4:00, like when he was alive, he'll ride around on his scooter. It's 4:00. Go home. You got time with your family. Nah, this will get done tomorrow. That's how he was getting down. And I think a lot of owners don't understand why the history in Pittsburgh is so rich. Everybody talk about the history of Dallas, but the history of Dallas is he take care of players who do good for him. The history in Pittsburgh is everybody, from the janitor to the chefs to the food service, everybody. They get treated with love. And that's the difference.
I can't find anything online about how they got their money. It's kind of sketchy to me.
But like
because you can't locate it, it's sketchy.
Yeah. Watching me just have spelled Rooney wrong or something stupid like that. Dwayne Rooney.
No, but it's still one of the things that's interesting. Like I said, to me, I'm a certain teams I got my eye on. That's a big game. Another big game I got my eye on. That I believe is coming up is the Lions versus the Bucks.
What? I mean, you, as a Lions fan, it's a big game, or like you talking about like nationally?
No, I'm talking about like nationally. It's a big game because it got put on national TV, and the Bucks, who have been in a bit of a drought, against it, is going to have to figure out what team they want to be playing against the Lions, because if the Lions decide that they care enough, they can upset the Bucks. So I look at those types of games, and I try to figure out like what's going on. That's why that game with the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Ravens was huge for me to watch. And I'm watching the game, and I'm like, look at this. They're not even asking Ben Roethlisberger to do a whole lot. His receivers are just natural route running technicians. And you know what's funny? Somebody posted this a couple of weeks ago that said that they've had over 6 or 7 different Pro Bowl wide receivers. Now one was took it in the first or second round. And I was like, what?
I saw that too. I was
like, what? It was like Antonio Brown, Cynical Wilder. I'm like, how? Like they
Ford, Santonio Holmes, Juju Smith. Now they got Chase Claypool. My man, the other guy too, Deontay Johnson. He looks kind of nice.
Deontay Johnson, yep, another one. I don't get it. Meanwhile, some teams like the Lions is paying like, and the Giants, they're paying receivers all this big money and then trade them. That's another story for another day. I mean, is David Gettleman still over there with the Giants?
Yep.
Yeah, I think he is.
Yeah, y'all got to root for y'all to lose or something. I guess.
But look at him now, though. The season started ugly, but
I do. The only thing that I want to give him credit for this, I do give him credit for the Blake Martinez signing and like James Bradbury. Those are 2 good signings that he's had. But people are not looking at the big picture, because prior to this run that they've had, they had a really bad record underneath Gettleman. And remember what they did to get Leonard Williams. They gave a 3rd and 5th round pick for a guy who was going to be a free agent that upcoming offseason.
Right. Yeah.
They gave up 2 draft picks. And I was like, what are you doing, man? And the Giants weren't even in playoff contention that year. And
it's the Lions. It's the Lions all over. Everything Griffin, 6th round pick, possibly 5th round pick. I just don't. I mean, you're not even in contention. But yeah. That's, man. God, why does it seem like, you know what? Somebody made this comment yesterday on one of the shows that we did and talking about Bill Parcells. And I made the statement to him that if the Lions were even close to getting Bill Parcells as a general manager, I would be shocked, because all he do is rebuild programs. And people was like, man, he old. And I'm like, I don't care. Joe Gibbs came back and got the Redskins back together. Mean, seriously. Yeah.
This is what I was gonna say though about Parcells. Like he recently, you know what I'm saying, I think 2009 was the last team he's with. He's working with the Dolphins, and they just couldn't get right with him. You
know why?
Bad, so I will say that. Like
you know why? Because they didn't want to give full control to it. He wanted to get rid of some people that they was like, what do you mean? This guy is good. It was people that he argued that he was like, we don't need him. We can get rid of this person. We don't need that person. We can get rid of this person. He had the same problem with Dallas. Dallas was irrelevant before Bill Parcells.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that.
Really? Go and look it up.
Because I guess, I mean,
they go and look it up. They was bombing out with Quincy Jones as the quarterback. Trash.
Yeah,
they wasn't doing nothing over there. They was trash. And then all of a sudden, Bill Parcells puts his stamp on it. They pass the team off to like Wade Phillips. Wade Phillips get them only go so far. Then Jason Garrett get it, and just mediocrity for there on out. Now I'm Jason Garrett gone, and look at this team. Mike McCartney in there, all the talent in the world. I don't want to hear nothing about no quarterback being gone. This team should not be looking this way. You still got Zeke. You still got a decent offensive line, even though some pieces is missing. That defense added all kind of talent.
I don't know how they had Alden Smith. They had Everson Griffin, who we had. They had, you know, it sucked. They did
Dontari Poe, Gerald McCoy. Keep going. DeMarcus.
They got one nasty ass. I think it's Brandon Smith or something like that.
Jalen Smith.
Jalen Smith. I like him a lot.
Jalen Smith. Then you had the Wolf Hunter, a.k.a. Van Der Esch. I mean, you had talent over there. They're not doing nothing.
My man Sean's a Giants fan. He's thinking in his head like, fuck all them names you just said.
The Giants to me, I think they need to go back and look at their history. And I don't know why they keep doing this and getting away from it with trying to become an offensive team first. But going back to the Lawrence Taylor time, defense, past the Lawrence Taylor time, the defense, the Super Bowl they got to with what's his name, Collins? Is that his name? That quarterback name? And y'all had Tiki Barber.
Yeah,
Defense, just defense. Beat the Patriots. Defense.
It's almost like the defense coming out at the right time too, like with that kind of stuff. I thought last year I would say like the San Francisco. I spoke really highly of the defense. Like they were just number one last year. When we go back and look at the numbers, they weren't. They just got going at the right time. I mean, Joey Bosa been doing his thing, but like this got hot in the playoffs. I guess. I mean, same thing with the Patriots.
But if you look at a lot of the teams, that's what happens. That's what happened with the Patriots. The Patriots end up getting hot in December, late November, December. That's where you want to see your team take off because that's the sign of a good defense. Your defense can be great early on in the year, but like when you go through and you look at the Seattle Seahawks, man, look at some of them games early on, man, they just get done dirty. I just be like, God, come on. But late November, early December, guess what? They was lighting it out. Same thing with the Vikes. The Vikes at one point had that defense catch fire at the right time. Same thing with the Packers. They had their defense catch fire at the right time. This is the mark of what happened.
2020 Giants, Sean.
Same exact thing with my Giants because when this season first started, they were brutal. Like they got blown. The only game that they got blown out where they got absolutely demolished was Nick Mullins and the 49ers. They got absolutely smoked.
They did.
And that defense at that time obviously was horrendous. And now all of a sudden, look where we are. Patrick Graham, that defense is settling, gelling together as a defensive unit. Look what they're doing now. They gave Russell Wilson all sorts of problems. They even gave Brady problems a lot.
They did.
They gave Brady a lot.
Stacked team. Brady with a stacked team.
You know what? I remember it was a year. It was the year that y'all went to the Super Bowl, the first Super Bowl with Eli Manning. I think y'all won, and I remember they was rotating like the entire starting 4 D line out, and putting in like a whole new 4, and they were still just getting after you. Like at that time, Justin Tuck wasn't even no name. It's just like, bro, he just keep going. like they and then the linebackers, they had the heavy set dude, Antonio.
Pierce.
Yeah. They had Antonio Pierce.
I remember him.
And I'm just looking like, look at this. They had I'm like just looking at the talent that they had, and that defense just caught fire at the absolute perfect time. And when it caught fire, a lot of them games were ugly. They would run the ball down your throat because the biggest problem was they would come out and let you try to chase the little young dude, the running back. I forgot his name off the top of my head right now. And then they'd throw in Brandon Jacobs. And it's like, now I got to run into this big old thing. What is this? Right? And Eli was just out there dotting them up with simple passes to receivers who uses like, okay. Like, this is like winning football teams play as a whole, and they play consistent in the times where you need to have it. I remember one year Ben Roethlisberger was blaming everybody but himself. He was blaming the receivers for running the wrong routes, blaming the running backs for not hitting the hole, blaming the defense for giving up too many points, blaming the coaching for calling bad plays. And he did all that, and it took the head coach to get everybody back on track to forgive him and say, look, we're a football team. We win as one, we lose as one. You know? And that's the problem that you see. Everybody thought that they was going to fall off because AB was gone. Okay. You know, it's amazing to me how football works, man. It's amazing.
Yep.
You know,
it really is. The ultimate team sport. I mean, we spoke about it earlier on the DSA post-game show.
Right. Yeah, it's the ultimate team sport, and it's a beautiful thing to see when you're able to identify. You, man, listen, easy. You talk to some of these players, right? And how they talk about the atmosphere of want to play for their brother. They ain't talking about playing for the coach.
Yeah.
You get a few people who talk about, oh, this is my favorite coach, but it was about playing for that guy next to you and across from you, in the competition within yourself and the person across from you.
Yeah.
And all it takes is the wrong leadership to throw all that off, or all it takes is for them not having that discipline at the right moment, at the right time, and now it's down the drain.
Yeah, that's one thing actually really, really impressed me with the Giants is like y'all could have thrown in the tower a long time ago because it was looking rough.
Mm-hmm.
It was looking rough for y'all. You guys lost Saquon at the beginning of the year, and I almost forgot Saquon was part of the team because y'all just been carried on without him.
Yeah,
Yep.
and it brings up to the point like when we were talking about the last time the Giants won a championship, and what they had obviously in the backfield was Brendan Jacobs, ground and pound guy, and you had Ahmad Bradshaw.
That's his name. God, I couldn't think of that dude's name. Ahmad Bradshaw. That's his name.
You look at previous teams though, but for the Giants moving forward, you're like, okay, now when we get Barkley back, we gotta make sure that we don't put all this pressure on him. He's still a young player. Do not put all this pressure on him coming off a big time injury. Involve Wayne Gallman. Even bring back Devontae Freeman. I would love to see the Giants bring back Freeman back on a 1-year deal. That would make a lot of sense. Run these 3 running backs out together because you cannot put all this pressure on Barkley. And you see in the past what the Giants did. How did they win in the running game? Was they used Brendan Jacobs and Bradshaw. They didn't roll out with one guy.
I got a guy that I think the Giants should trade for.
Mhm.
I think he could be had in a trade. And I don't think it would cost you a lot to get him. There's 2 guys, actually. Here go the first one. Sony Michelle from the New England Patriots.
Hmm.
And I'm going to tell you why. He will get you the guy who can catch up the backfield, one cut, go. He would be your new Ahmad Bradshaw because right now the Patriots don't know how to use him no way. And you could just say, hey, he got a few injuries, Nick. We'll toss y'all a 5th. They'll take that.
Mm-hmm.
They'll take that.
Yeah.
The other guy that I think that y'all should trade for was, again, I don't know why they won't do this, but I think they should because I think you need somebody who can really complement what that you can really complement what you're getting from a guy like Saquon. Another guy I think y'all should reach out to and see if y'all can get in contact with to get is going to be from the Cleveland Browns, Kareem Hunt. I would because I think they're gonna bring him back, and I think if you bring in Kareem Hunt with Saquon Barkley, you basically got to pick your poison at that point. These are 2 guys. I'm looking for guys who I think can not only change the pace for y'all, but can carry the load if need be. Because right now Saquon Barkley is getting that Barry Sanders treatment, and I'm like, y'all kind of took that whole he just like Barry Sanders thing a little too serious. He's nothing like Barry. Nothing. So I think if y'all can make those kind of trades, that'll be dope. And on defense, there's one guy that I think y'all should probably get rid of. And I know that you're gonna probably disagree with this, but I think y'all should get rid of him just for the sake of cap space, and that y'all can go out and add somebody with a little bit more speed and power via free agency or draft. Thomason, the D tackle.
Yeah, Dalvin
Tomlinson, yeah, I will move on from him because I feel like while he does some things good for y'all, that's it. I need somebody that's a little bit more agile. Like in my eyes, I'm looking for D tackles who are like those Aaron Donalds, Warren Sapp type guys who are agile, can get off the ball and get after you. And to me, I think it's gonna be some people who's gonna get released this upcoming season that will fit the Giants' way a lot. The Giants used to be a team I used to root for just because they had 2 of my favorite players at the time, which was Jason Sehorn. Don't you judge me. I just liked him. I thought he was okay. All right. I'm sorry. Don't judge me. And I was just a huge Shockey fan. When y'all took Shockey, I was like, yo, this is not fair. Dude, man, Shockey? Bro, Jeremy Shockey? Oh my God. Did you see what he used to do to people?
Yep.
He was a dog.
Dude. Love me some Jeremy Shockey.
He just missed out on the Super Bowl. I felt so bad for him, man. Because he was like, you know what I'm saying? He was that guy over there. And they got rid of him. Then the the Giants won the Super Bowl. Like, damn.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks.
He retired the year before, too. And they're like, oh, well, now he won. Like,
it sucks. It happens. But man, I was a huge Jeremy Shockey and Jason Sehorn fan. Like Jason Sehorn to me, I just love that underdog story with him and Shockey. I have been following him since college, and I was like, yo, this dude not human. You know,
And it's the game's 3-3 right now. This may be a stupid question, but we know how these divisional games go. Any predictions for tonight's game?
in my opinion, the Kansas City Chiefs should win handily. If they win a close game, man. I mean, listen, we got to start putting these other people to the fire. They so great. Why are they not? Why are these games so close?
Bro,
like how
this whole time with the Chiefs, man. I'm like, these games been kind of close. Like
how though? Like look at the offensive roster. Like everybody on the offense run a 4-3 except for Travis Kelce. Like I mean, seriously,
it's weird to me because like at the same time though, like when they need those drives, cake, easy,
wonder
hot knife through butter.
Because you remember how they played the Raiders? Both games that they played the Raiders, obviously they split between them, but both games were really close. And look how the Raiders came out against the Jets. They barely beat the 0-11 Jets.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So it makes me wonder, like, how in the world were the Chiefs and the Raiders back and forth? That's just crazy to me.
It's one of the things that I just can't never wrap my head around. Like he got like Kansas City is a quarterback's dream location. You got speed on top of speed on top of speed. You got talent at every level.
A running back too.
Listen, I got cussed out easy. You don't know this, right? So I was doing like mock drafts, right? And I would do the mock drafts for the Lions. And so I said, I don't think he's gonna make it to the second round. But if he do, and he's sitting there, and I'm the Lions, I'm taking Clyde Edwards-Helaire. J-Mo, everybody was like, man, stop picking him. And I'm like, I watched his college film. He literally at a 90-something% rate makes the first person miss every time. Man, you out of your mind, bro. He not better than no J.K. Dobbins. He ain't better than no DeAndre Swift. And I'm like, but you're wrong because this dude will make a bear miss in the phone booth. And I'm telling you, he's consistent with it. Whatever. First game of the season, he come out, destroy everything. Next couple of games, he making people miss. They start keying in on him. And everybody come back and go, I didn't know he was that good, man. I said, I told you this guy makes everybody miss. The first person trying to tackle him is going to miss every single time. That's a rare trait to have. And then he can get his foot back in the dirt and running again. And I said, that's a rare trait to have. And when I look at this Kansas City Chiefs team with him, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, Mecole Hardman, Sammy Watkins, and the list goes on and on and on, I'm trying to figure out why are you battling with the Broncos?
Freaking Le'Veon Bell, too.
Like, what? Oh, forget about him. Don't get me started. I'm just trying to, what are we doing? Why are you battling with the Broncos? I can't even name who the Broncos quarterback is right now, bro. I can't.
I only know because we do like the national shows a lot. We got our guy from Denver. Shout out to Jordan Rosario. He's a big Broncos guy. He be talking crazy though, man. You gotta meet him, man.
I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I just don't know if I would agree with this idea. Like, and again, I know it's division games and all, but it's like,
yeah,
like no, like
division games are weird though. I would say, but close to everybody though.
But they don't even have their best defensive player. Who you fighting against? Like I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe Von Miller's spirit is running through the team. I guess I don't know.
He's just that fucking powerful human.
Yeah. You know, he just. You know, he just. Everybody walk up to him and he touch him like you know, just you have the power now.
Yeah,
you know,
like, the special stuff from Space Jam.
Yeah.
Or basketball. Yeah.
I just don't see how like they are here battling. I remember the year that I picked the Lions to beat them. And everybody was like, man, you got your man, they're gonna destroy y'all. And we barely lost. And it took us to have all type of turnovers for us to take that L. And I was like thinking to myself, like, God, this team got all this speed, but this is where Andy Reid have problems. And this is one of the reasons why I want to try to stay away from getting people who have coached in the NFC already. I think once you coach in the NFC, you got to go over to the AFC. Because I feel like what happens is like Andy Reid, or in the case of people like Rex Ryan, Andy Reid left the NFC and went to the AFC, and look at the success. People are having a hard time adjusting over in the AFC to what he's doing. But if he had to
the NFC too.
Yeah, but in the NFC, look what happened with the NFC. It kept being this back and forth between the Giants being the best team. Then the Giants wouldn't be the best team. Then Dallas would be the best team. Then Dallas wouldn't be the best team. Then the Eagles. And it just kept going back and forth. But the moment he got over to Kansas City, it's been up ever since. Up. You know, go and look at even John Gruden. John Gruden, when he left the Raiders and went to the Bucks, and they won that Super Bowl, which I was like, well, he won the Super Bowl with Dungy's team, but we're gonna leave that alone. Plus, it's not hard to win a Super Bowl when you know all the players because you put them there. But that's another story. And then after that, the dude sucked. And I'm like, yo, he gonna have to get out of football for a while, or he gonna have to go to the AFC. Well, he got out of football for a while, but when he came back, he stayed away from NFC teams. He went to the AFC. Started off a little slow, but still, look what's happening. It's coming together. Why? Because those change of sceneries is where people do get used to you. They get like real, like clear about what you do and how you do it. And when you go through and you look at the Dallas Cowboys right now, sorry, Sean, you know, look at the Dallas Cowboys right now. They bring in Mike McCartney, who was from where? NFC. Everybody know what he's doing, but now he's doing it with the Cowboys. It's not working.
Trash, yeah.
So
Matt Patricia about to move over to the AFC. What are you saying?
Matt Patricia would never be a head coach again. He would never listen. The only way he'll be a head coach if he go coach his little league, his kids' little league sports team.
I believe it, man.
Listen, this would be a fun. If you ever want to put like a fun question out for people to figure out, ask people who was the last head coach to be fired from the Detroit Lions to get a head coaching job again.
Wow, that's actually.
It's terrible. It's really bad and terrible. I mean,
maybe not. No, he was Niners before us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think none.
I'll tell you. Look, it's a really fun question because I don't think people think about it. But that's one of the reasons. Who is it? You said I know. I know the answer.
Yeah,
dude. The last person to even get another shot. You got to go all the way back into like the 80s, bro.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you got to go that far back.
Wow.
I even tried to like go through, and I'm like, okay, Jim Schwartz, nope. I'm like, God, he led a defense that went to the Super Bowl. Nope, he didn't get another head coaching job. So I said, okay, well, let me think. So I started trying to think really hard, and I went through Marty Mortywig. Nope. like Bobby Ross. Nope. Steve Mariucci, nope. Jim Schwartz, nope. Rob Marinelli, nope.
Caldwell,
nope.
I don't think Patricia will never see maybe defensive coordinator. Yep. I don't think he'll ever see a head coaching job, man.
Definitely not.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to figure out, one of the reasons why I don't think we're going to get certain people, because I'm like, that's a history that you do not want to be a part of. Like, so you mean to tell me you're a one-stop shop?
Yeah.
I mean, even if you look at the interim coaches like Dick Duran, nope.
You know what blew my mind? Who I thought was an offensive coordinator and like a brilliant. I actually seen the kid to say it recently too, but all I saw this as I was younger was Mike Martz. Yeah,
nope.
Yeah, he even get nothing afterward, and he coached the greatest show on turf. Did he not? Like,
no. So Dick Vermeil was, so Dick Vermeil was there for the first 3 seasons. So the first 2, he stunk. He was terrible. And then that 3rd year, the greatest show on turf happened. He ended up getting Falk. They added in a very shifty slot receiver and Oz Hakeem, and a few other people, and they won that Super Bowl. And then they had like a down year or so after that, and then they brought in Martz, and then boom, the greatest show on turf kept going again because he started adding more weapons. Torrey Holt, I forgot that other little.
That's crazy. Got another chance.
Well, he was the Lions offensive coordinator. And according to John Kitna, the staff was getting into it because he didn't like the way they was doing things and thought that they should do stuff better. and it caused a problem, and thus he was tossed out. So you know, yeah, but we don't. That's not our history. If you come here like right now, like Raheem Morris would have a better chance of getting a head coaching position than anybody who coached the Lions.
Wayne Fonts.
Nope, Wayne Fonts when he was actually he was the interim head coach who ended up becoming the head coach, and that's when he went through 2 drafts, and then by the time that third one came, he ended up basically getting like he had already got Barry in '89. Rodney Peete had got hurt. I believe it was like week 9 of that year. I'm showing my age, y'all. Don't judge me. But it was like week 9 of that year. He got hurt. Rodney Peete got hurt, and Eric Kramer came in, and I think we lost the next 2 games, and then we just rattled them off afterwards. But a lot of the things from that team, what made it special was we had a defense in the run game, and the quarterback was not asked to be the one to win the game for us. And so by the time we got up against the one team who can always beat us, the damn Bills, the Bills and the Redskins always seem to be able to beat us. That's where we had our problems at. But for the most part, if you're a head coach here, it's a death sentence. You better succeed. If you succeed here and you succeed here for a while and then you get fired, you'll get another head coaching job ASAP. They don't care what. Like the Lions, to me, you got to look at people like Larry Brown. Larry Brown, when he went to the Pistons, everybody thought this is a stupid hire. I was excited because I saw how he just kept building up different programs, and he built them Pistons up with a bunch of players that nobody was talking about that won a championship. It almost seemed like a Disney story. And so when I look at a lot of these teams like the Giants, the Cardinals, I'm only naming teams that I thought the Lions were ahead of prior to Matt Patricia. They're all the Browns. They're all past us now.
The Colts.
No. See, I don't smoke or drink, but you trying to get me there, okay? You're trying to get me there. But yeah, I mean, the history tells you what you need to know about these teams. That's all it is. The history tells you what you need to know.
I'm gonna give another score update. I'll probably wrap this one up, man, because I'm vested in this game fantasy wise. But the score, the Broncos are actually leading 10-6. So another tip to the hat what Luke was saying about the Kansas City Chiefs.
That won't last long. It's not if Kansas City
you're right.
Things around. It's when they will. So that score is just the way it is for now. So hang tight.
I still don't understand how you like in the dog. That's like me having like a dog fight with my 4-year-old. Like, yeah, when we playing basketball and he just out there like Steph Curry with the shot. I can't do nothing. Like, it's like, no, man. Like, what is this? Like Mike? Like, no.
This is like Mike.
You know what I mean? Like, you should be winning this game convincingly. Like, what you didn't get up today, or what you tired? Yeah. And people don't know this. Tyreek Hill has a really popular YouTube channel where he literally will play anybody in NBA 2K and Madden. He don't care who you are. Like, he'll play you.
He'll race anybody too.
Right, he'll race anybody. Man, it's another YouTuber who he had me rolling. He be going up against the NFL players and stuff. And he told Tyreek Hill he can cover him. And Tyreek was like, cover who? Okay, bet. They met up. It wasn't even no devil move. It was just like a quick stutter step, and he just took off. And I wouldn't even put that on film. Like, you're not gonna embarrass me like that. Like, seriously, like, I had to been out there like give him that Nancy Kerrigan treatment. As soon as he run by, hit that kneecap or something. Like, you ain't finna just embarrass me like this. It was terrible. But
except Tyreek got embarrassed by that high schooler.
Man.
Styles. He actually came on my show. He's like one of my first guests I ever had.
Really?
Wow. Yeah.
I must have missed that one, man.
Totally unprepared, bro. I had terrible questions, but it's there. It's actually the second highest viewed video on my channel, for real.
It happens, man. It happens, dude. Like, you killing it. Like I say, I love that one video. I love sometimes you do your spoof videos. When you kind of stop, I'm like, I get why he stopped, because you don't want nobody not taking you serious. But some of those spoof videos, I'd be like, what in the heck? I would be laughing the whole day. Like, why did he do this?
The easy does it. So I'll do one again soon.
No, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Let it ride, man. Let it ride.
They're ratchet. But they used to hit. They used to be my biggest hitters.
Dude, they funny. You couldn't do nothing but laugh. Like so. Sean, are you doing YouTube?
I'm trying to get him going, man.
Not yet. Not YouTube yet.
He's a manager of the Speakeasy, bro. He can hop on whenever.
That's what I'm saying. Like you might as well get in here and talk some sports. You know what I'm saying? Just talk about some good old football.
Something, right? Or do you got a laptop or no?
No, I don't.
So you know a lot of things you can do now from the phone. Obviously, a lot, especially the iPhone. I wouldn't advise it because everybody act like iPhones are invisible. But you know, you can do a lot of stuff from the phones now, but you won't be able to do the live stream unless you go through like the StreamYards and stuff like that. So, but yeah, man. I mean, because you know your stuff, and I love when I talk to people who know their stuff, man.
Thanks, man.
You know,
as soon as I saw an interview with Sean, and he was on with my man Nathan, and right after I hit up Sean, I'm like, yo. You want to come join the Speakeasy, bro? I've been looking for someone like you. You're the next Max Kellerman. Yeah, dude,
yeah, right. He know it. Like he know it. Like I'd be like, yo, I'm so used to talking to people who be like, it's like all emotion based. Like I feel like he a good player. Well, I know he's not. You know, like so your feelings compared to my facts. I don't care about your feelings and your opinions. My facts tell you otherwise. Mm-hmm. You know.
Yeah, we got to do it more often, man. I wish I was consistent with something that I did, but this channel's all over the place so far. But I'll get something down.
But listen, you good. The truth is, especially like us, we got families and stuff. Like I'm just happy that my missus came home because my kids was on my head literally. Like I was trying to talk to y'all, and you heard them screaming because they want to be a part of the conversation.
Yeah,
it's crazy to me, bro. Like it's crazy. So. And I'm just waiting for Christmas
taking time away from your family to come do this with us, man. You too, Sean.
Man, for sure. I appreciate it. Listen, I ain't want to say nothing to Sean, but I was like, yo, man, I'm digging the Christmas tree in the back, bro. That's nice.
I saw it too. I'm thinking like, oh man, we gotta go
like
the house.
Yeah, I ain't want to say nothing. I'm like, damn, they gonna probably judge me. Like, bro, it's a sports show. You up here checking out the Christmas tree? Yeah, but it's all nice and it's lit. Like, it got a star on the top.
Don't feel like that over here, man. We got porn stars on the damn show. We do whatever, man.
I know, man. It's amazing. I do want to ask some questions too. That one time you had the porn thing. I wanted to ask a question like how was I swear I really be curious. Like how is dating at the porn?
Bro, she married.
Yeah, but it's a guy. Like was he in porn?
They're just open, man. I got an invite to the boat one day. They wild out, man.
Wow. Yeah. Nah. I ain't gonna lie. I'm too stingy for all that. But again, I'm gonna leave it alone.
I'm the same way, bro. I'm the same way, man.
I'm too stingy for all that, bro. I can't. You might not even listen. Don't look at mine like that. You're gonna have a problem.
Yep. So wrong with your neck? Why you looking over here?
Right. Your neck okay? You're right. Yeah.
We fix that for you.
You know what? I do got a question for y'all both that I'm curious about though. Like in terms of. I'm gonna do a video about this where I'm gonna rank the coaching vacancies. Who do you think has the number one coaching vacancy?
Oh,
go ahead, Sean. I know what mine is. I'm gonna have Sean go.
The most interesting one for me is going to be the Atlanta Falcons.
Wow.
And I think the Falcons intrigues me the most because of what they have offensively too. Now, with the new head coach, in all likelihood, they're going to want their own franchise quarterback coming in. Plus, there needs to be a new GM there too. So, in all likelihood, they probably don't have the same outlook of moving on with Matt Ryan. So, they're probably going to want to establish a new guy there as well. I think Atlanta's definitely up there. I would say I think the Houston Texans are up there as well because Watson, man, look what he's doing this year by himself, basically, in that offense. I think Houston's going to be up there too.
Okay. All right. What you think, Easy?
For me, it's definitely Houston. I think it's a big fan, and I know a quarterback is singly handedly winning the games. It rarely does happen, but I feel like when you're looking at game planning for a team, I want a quarterback who's a dual threat. You know what I'm saying? I want a quarterback, he got to worry about the run a little bit, or at least when things break down, he has the athletic ability to make a play on his feet. So if I'm a new coach and I'm looking around and I want to have success, I want a Deshaun Watson. For when there's a mishap.
See, I think Deshaun Watson and Texans are a good one, but my number one coaching vacancy is the Jets.
Jets, I can't give it the organization, man.
I feel you, but if you think about it from this standpoint, right? Like, watch this. Like, just stay with me for a minute, right? They got talent over there. It's some talent over there. They got a lot of people dumped out and stuff like that. But you're coming into it with enough draft picks to completely turn that roster around into the way that you see fit. And it ain't just this year in draft picks. They got draft picks for this year and the year after. On top of that, they gonna have cap space. And if they take a quarterback, they got a perfectly good tradable quarterback piece and Sam Darnold for more draft capital. They can literally trade Sam Darnold, get more draft capital. They can go out and trade what's the guy name? Quentin Williams, more draft capital, and then completely revamp that team in whatever image they see fit. Like the draft capital and cap space alone and the assets that they have, to me, make it a prime target. I think the Texans is cool, but JJ, he done. He ready to go. Marcellus Whitley, without JJ and Joe Davian over there, he ain't been looking too hot. They got Zach Cunningham. I think I like him a lot.
They got a general manager vacancy too, right?
But not. And that's my point. That's my point. Whoever come into the Jets, it's prime like market. It's New York.
Prime restart. It's the Jets, man. I feel like people say the same thing about the Lions, though. It's the Lions, though, bro.
Yeah, but
earlier to Luke, I'm like that's why I didn't. I mean, I'm glad to beat the Bears. I'll take a win over the Bears any day of the week. But I'm not mad, and I may like be rooting for us to lose out a little bit because I want a better like rebuild situation for whoever comes in next. You know what I'm saying? Like, my
goal is to change that word from rebuild to renovation.
I know you're saying that too. Yeah.
Yeah. We got to do a renovations. You know what I'm saying? Like the way I look at it is like this: a house has been built, right? And that house is called the Detroit Lions. And yes, you don't got to like everything about it, but put some new windows on it, some new doors, some nice paint. It's gonna look real beautiful when you get it done and you put them finishing touches on it. And to me, we need to be in a renovation part, which means that whoever comes in here need to look at what he can use in that house. Don't nobody come into a new house and just decide all of a sudden, I'm cutting out all the walls, burning the house down, take out the foundation and start over. We're not doing that. We need to add some pieces to do it. Everybody thought that the Rams was going to need a rebuild. They renovated.
That was very, 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 very impressive by Sean McVay, man. That was crazy. I don't think anybody, I want a young coach, and I've been saying like I want like one of those young offensive minded guys, but like, how many of those are there? You know what I'm saying? Like that was fucking insane. But I guess my man Shanahan did the same thing with San Francisco though too.
Yeah, but even when you look at San Francisco, their talent gap was improved by who? Martin Mayhew, former Detroit Lions. It's Martin Mayhew.
Or James.
Yes. Yeah, they did. They did bring in John List, and John List said that he needed somebody that he can trust, and he hired Martin Mayhew.
Mayhew made some he made some nice picks
for the Lions. Yeah, he made some nice picks for them. And what him and John Lynch do is he go out and he talks exclusively to his scouting department, and he goes to John Lynch and he makes his case, and John trusts him.
Yeah, I miss Brian Sanders here too. Where'd he go? Where'd he land after here?
I don't know, but I had a few people that already hit me up on my channel saying that we should bring Brian Sanders in as the general manager, and I said we tried that already.
He didn't want to do it. He didn't want the job.
No, I mean, he was here during the era where he had the power to determine players we get. I ain't like what it came out of it. I was glad he was gone too.
He was with Mayhew.
Yeah.
He drafted a lot of big name guys throughout his career, or was like strong-hearted.
That was all Mayhew. And then one of the problems with Mayhew was he didn't understand that sometimes when your coach tell you I want this, you got to be like, listen, I know you want this, but let me take this and you can have this in the other rounds. Like, sometimes you got to be able to tell the coach, like, I don't like this move because of this reason. Because that's one of the reasons we didn't get Aaron Donald, was because Jim Caldwell said, I thought we was moving away from these small guys and going with bigger and faster.
Go ahead. I muted myself. I don't know if it was me or.
Yeah, I don't know. It might be me. Ain't no telling. Yeah, because I hear like it's like choppy.
Hey, Sean, go ahead, mute yourself. Luke's
I can't. You guys are cutting out for me for some reason.
So a lot of times, especially with StreamYard, if you're on the Wi-Fi and you got a lot of things on your Wi-Fi, the moment your bandwidth get too thin, your connection gets messed up.
Could be something like that.
Yeah. So, but like I said, it's good now. So,
R.I.P. Sean.
Sean coming back. He got to come back. We gonna get Sean a YouTube channel. we go get him a YouTube channel.
That's what I told you, because the thing with Speakeasy Sports, bro, I wanted to cover everything, and I almost wanted to build like a Barstool type deal. You know what I'm saying? So like, I gave guys like Sean, like the manager, access where he can make videos and go live from the channel, but no one's done it yet. I'm trying to get. That's why I got him on the show today, trying to get him going, because Sean knows his shit, man. Yeah.
It's a delight. It is. It's a delight, especially like I've talked to people who've tried to tell me like, oh, you're like I get told I'm crazy a lot, so I'm used to it. I do. I get told I'm crazy a lot, and then what?
It's part of doing this though. Like people are gonna put yourself out there to be criticized. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna come.
Right, but the part is those same people who call me crazy when I'm right, they disappear. They become Casper the Friendly Ghost. You know. And I'd be like, well, wait a minute, where were you at now? Like I told you that this was not a good idea.
They be there. There's no be in the comment section.
Hey, long they know that when they come, I'm gonna give them the same energy they gave me. You know, I'm gonna actually I'm gonna probably make a t-shirt that's called "It's Patty Time" or something. Watch, because I'm telling you, sometimes when people be getting real patty, I'd be like, okay, you want me to just prove so much to you. But I don't just go by what the name is. I really do look into their resumes, and I look into what they do, who they are, how they fit. When a person be like, hey, what you think about this player? If I ain't never heard of him, I ain't never heard of him, but I'm finna go find out. And I'll go and watch all kinds of hours of film and be like, yeah, I'm not with it. He can't do this. Like I got a lot of heat for saying that I don't want Chase Young if he's there at 3. And they were like, so you telling me if it's Chase Young and Isaiah Simmons, you passing on Isaiah Simmons? I mean, you passing on Chase Young? And I said, yes, I am. And they said, why? And I said, because Chase Young does not play hard every down. Oh, you crazy. I said, I swear to God, I watched enough film of him to know that he does not give you max effort. He plays hard on certain downs. And I said, and he got the same two pass rush moves, which is run around you and run around you. And I said, that's not going to work in the league. Now you look at him in the league now, and he take off plays still. And try to do that same run around you stuff, and a lot of times take yourself out of the play. So, but
you back, Sean? You good?
Yeah, my phone was about to die, so the audio really like just cut out, and I was like, "What?" I'm like,
"Oh, yeah, your phone was trying to save that battery by taking something off."
Well, guys, I'll probably wrap this one up. I'm gonna catch the end of this Chiefs game. My man Travis Kelce, I don't know what's going on. I need to make sure he's not hurt. Got some money on the line with this one, but appreciate you guys tapping in. I'm gonna try to do this more consistently, man. I'm all over the place, like I said, with the channel. But if you guys are down, maybe we'll do this next Sunday too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Like, listen, if I'm free, man, you always gonna have me. You know what I'm saying? It's the matter about if I'm free. So shoot me like you shot that message in there, and I was like, okay, what you doing? What the topic is? If it's basketball, I follow basketball, but I don't follow it as hard as I follow football.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm all over the place, man. I probably honestly say MMA is like my strong point. It just after the Dallas game, bro, that's when like MMA like just took over. I was like, man,
you know what? I wanted to ask you this really quick before you get off about the MMA because I was curious. I was really, really, really curious about this. What is the guy's name? I'm trying to think of his name. He was saying he was gonna do MMA. God, what is his name?
CM Punk.
What is his name?
Was he a WWE guy or no?
Yeah, he's like in wrestling or something.
CM Punk he's ass, bro. Yeah,
dude. Bro. I saw that he was like, I'm gonna do MMA, and I was like, why? You just got done doing fake wrestling. They hit you for real in MMA. Like, I don't understand.
They beat the brakes off that man. The guy who he faced was like the guy who he faced got I think he got kicked out the UFC because he didn't finish him. But he was just clowning him. He was like beating his ass, like, see, you're not ready for this. He was talking shit the whole time. And then when the fight was over, Dana White was like, why didn't you just like hurry up and just end that? Like, why was you like why were you sitting there just, like toying with him? That's how bad he got did though.
Wow.
There's definitely levels to this, man. So shout out to you know what I'm saying, all my professional MMA fighters out there, man. Those some dangerous ass dudes. But
Yeah,
be
support.
careful out there. You see the cauliflower here, just let it go, man. Just let it go.
Yeah, for support. Well, listen, it was a pleasure, man, talking sports with you. I'm gonna definitely get up out of here. Like I said, I gotta make sure I get you some support, put you out there, man. Let people know when you're doing what you're doing. Just make sure you shoot me a message so I can let them know.
Bet, man. I appreciate that, man.
For sure. Sean, it was a pleasure, man. It really was.
Same here.
It really was. All right, have a good one, gentlemen.
You too.
See you guys. You got any last words you want to say? Anything if we wrap it up? Anything you got coming up?
Nothing crazy. Just I feel really good about my Giants beating
Bro,
Arizona.
I feel good for you too, man. If it weren't for you, bro, I wouldn't give a shit. I mean, I still would have been impressed, but because I know you now, like I'm happy for the Giants too.
Thank you. It feels so good because you can slowly see the culture change. You could see it with Joe Judge. You know, so much is just changing already in the matter of just the first season for him. It's crazy.
Did the narrative change at all on your guys' GM now that like the season's like going and
That's actually a really good question that we got to actually do a topic on and for another day for sure. I think that's like a big time topic that I would love to have other people's opinions on because I think personally for me, the only way we move on from him is if he ends up retiring. I think he'll end up retiring if he's gone after this year. That's just me. I don't think they fire him. I think he ends up just stepping down himself. You know, I think it'll just come down to his own decision.
yeah. Well, shit, Sean. I appreciate you taking time. Like I said earlier, hopefully Travis Kelce gets it going here, man. So I can talk my shit. You see me today. I said, say my name 3 times with the boogeyman now appear. So I'm trying to make sure that holds true.
That's too funny.
I'll see you, brother.
See you, man.